Wingman Joker, thank you for listening to this channel and please support the channel. Please subscribe. Chapter 407, Aku. Hello, my name is Mana. This is Mina. We are, as you may have noticed, Mona's twins. Mana said cheerfully as soon as she entered the restaurant's private room and met with Mona's friends, 2 boys and 2 girls. With Mona, they composed the Justice Ring. Oh, hello, a blonde guy said, inspecting both of the girls and then swallowing his saliva as he looked at Mona, who causally grabbed a seat. Mona, I didn't know you have sisters, he said with a dry mouth. Mona was his crush and now there were 3 of her. They have been lost for years, I think I told you about that before, Mona said, making 1 boy and 1 girl nod. They knew. We just reunited a week ago. That's why I took a vacation, Mona said nervously as she sat down. She was wondering how to tell her friends about Victor's claim that they were working for some evil family and then discuss a way to verify or refute those claims. That was the reason she brought her sisters here. Oh, really? The blonde guy swallowed again. Mona, I know you are happy to be reunited with your sisters, but this is supposed to be a private meeting. One girl who had very thick glasses interrupted. You know that you shouldn't bring family members. She added. What? Sorry, you didn't say that in the message. Mona replied nervously. This meeting usually happened when the observers issued them a new mission, and it was supposed to be secretive. You should have figured it out. The girl said. We always, Tala, enough, a cool-looking, young man who had long hair said. Hello, my name is Christopher, those are Donald, Tala, and Opal, we are Mona's friends, he introduced everyone, including the introverted girl, Opal, who nodded shyly. Hi, Mana said, I am sorry if we intruded on your meeting, maybe we should leave, she added, sounding hurt. Don't worry, it is something trivial, just grab a seat. Christopher said, giving Tala a glare. She bit her lip and looked away angrily. So, is this your first time here in Ring Cloud City? He asked the twins. Yes, we used to live in the Wyran Principality, Mana replied. They appeared in a broadcast by accident, so after I recognized them I took Makil and went there, Mona added. Oh, Wyran, Donald exclaimed. Isn't Wyran that place where they allowed men to have mass weddings? He asked as he took his phone and began to check. Wasn't there a wedding like that with 10 or so brides just a few weeks ago? He added, making both Tala and Opal glare at him with disdain. Yes, we were there at the wedding, it was very grand, and many important people attended. Mina was the one who explained. Wow, really, how can you tolerate such debauchery? Tala was the one who interrupted. If such a wedding were to occur here in the Cloudy Republic, those bastards would have all been arrested and sentenced to 20 years in prison. She said with a twisted sense of justice. Yeah, Donald said, feeling a little deflated. But is it true that there are rules there to allow such a thing? He asked. Yes, Mona was the one who replied. You have to be of some noble origin for them to allow you to marry more than one wife though, she quickly added, remembering her bet with Victor. Damn it, if she lost she would never be able to face her friends ever again, She would never lose. Victor's claims were baseless. The overseas were not evil. What if I had some noble ancestry? Donald asked. Do you have such a thing? Tala asked with disdain. Yes, my great-grandfather's second cousin's wife's grandfather was a baron before the revolution, and your family avoided being executed. Tala asked with a smirk. He was not important enough. Donald dismissed her. Would it work? He turned and asked the twins. If you can somehow acquire that title then it would definitely work. Mina was the one who answered. As most of the noble titles were originally granted by the Players' Council, they would naturally be recognized in other countries. Cool, Donald exclaimed as he took his phone and began sending messages to his parents, asking about who from his family ended up with the title and whether they could get it. Titles were worthless nowadays anyway. He had no idea that the price of noble titles had exploded after Victor's wedding and that even if he managed to get the title somehow, he had to find a way to get some very open-minded girls to make a harem. So, did you bring your sisters here to show them around town? Christopher, who was clearly the boss here, asked. Mother wanted them to get familiar with their hometown, Moan said. Though that is not the reason they are with me here today, she added nervously. Oh, why are they here? Christopher asked. It is about our thing, Mona hesitated. They know about us. Know what? Opal finally talked and asked. They know about the Justice Ring, Mona said. They, what? Christopher lost his cool and interrupted. Did you tell them? Don't you know the rules? He asked angrily. This secret should never be revealed. Ah, no, let me explain. We figured out Mona's identity by ourselves. Mana interrupted, putting her hand on Mona's shoulder. We came with her here to warn you about your supposed bosses, the observers. They are not what they seem. She said. What do you mean? Everyone asked. It took them a few moments to understand what she had just said. They are liars. They are not what they claim to be. Mina said. They are the real villains. Explain slowly, Christopher asked, coldly. Okay, the observers are in fact an evil organization that works for one of the 5 oligarchs, the Von Zui family. The belts you are using originate from them. Mina explained. The 5 of you have been fooled to work for them, cleaning their messes and collecting people with magical abilities for them to experiment on. Mana added. Oh, they brainwash those people then turn them into monsters, some of them you have already fought. Those were failed experiments, Mina said. Nice story, but do you have any evidence? Christopher asked again. He was secretly messaging with his phone under the table. There was naturally no signal. No, we plan to create a fake incident with your help to prove this. Mana said. Mona had already agreed. She added. Yes, Mona bit her lip and nodded. Oh, Christopher frowned. Though we will need your help, Mina said. Enough with the bullshit. WHO do you work for exactly? Tala, who couldn't take this anymore, asked loudly, as she secretly reached for her belt. She didn't believe 2 teenage girls could have access to such information. Her hand didn't reach her belt. Wait, she couldn't move her hand. She couldn't move her head. From the corner of her eyes, she saw that all her friends were the same. Wait, Mona wanted to intervene, but she noticed it too, she couldn't move. Did they do something? The question is who do you work for? Mina corrected her as she watched Mona and her friends slowly lose their ability to move. I guess you will have to figure that out yourselves that way, she added, shooting Mona an apologetic look as she slowly stood up and began to take their belts one by one. Quote. Christopher wanted to ask what they were going to do, but he could no longer speak. Don't worry, everything will be fine, this is the best way to convince you. We are going to impersonate you and then hand you over to the overseers after changing your shapes. Mana explained. If they are as clean as you believe, nothing will happen. If it is the opposite, then you will be working for us after this, she said with a kind smile as the door opened and a cold blonde girl with an eye patch entered the room. Young master. A pretty maid knocked on her young master's room's door. You may enter. The young master replied 38 seconds later, allowing her to enter the room and blush after she bowed respectfully, taking note of his muscular body as he pushed himself up. He seemed to have been doing push-ups, but she knew he wasn't. He forgot to hide the magazine under the bed, and she had been secretly monitoring him through the hidden camera. As a dark chamber agent, she had many duties. Is there anything? Axel asked, taking a towel to wipe his sweat. He had been working out really hard. Being a player, he had a lot of energy to waste. Yes, Master Olaf called. The imposter had an accident, so we need to start the plan ahead of time, she said, trying hard not to look at his perfect abs, but looking out of the grand window overseeing the ocean instead. Oh, finally, I was getting really bored with all the etiquette lessons, so where should I appear? He asked with a smirk. Brown Sand City, you will be washed ashore, having amnesia, not remembering anything, not even your name, she quickly explained. We will be giving you a pill for that, to make sure no one suspects you, you will regain your memory after 2 weeks. She explained, looking at him then away again while blushing. Making sure to appear like a pure maiden. I know, Uncle Olaf has already explained everything, he nodded. How will the meetup happen? A trusted elder from the family will, accidentally, find you with you there and inform your father. Everything should be fine, she said. Good, Axel nodded. What exactly happened to the imposter? He asked just as the maid was about to bow and leave. I am not sure, but he seemed to have been caught in an accident when he took advantage of the ongoing coup in an attempt to make it like he saved the matriarch's life. The maid said. He was sucked inside some SSS-ranked dungeon gate and went missing. Oh, a coup. Axel frowned. Yes, the family has many factions, that's why our operation is so secretive. According to Master Olaf, things in the family will be sorted out briefly when the matriarch restores order, and this would be our chance to make things right. That's all I was told. The maid shrugged. Fine, I guess I will figure things out one by one, he said. It was his time to take what was rightfully his at last.